Ladies and gentlemen, a welcome to our second event here on the final Sunday of our season. And again, the Tournament of Champions taking place this fall here in Traverse City. We have been blessed with not just a great competition, but great weather throughout the season. Looking forward to it as we get into our winning round competition coming up next, which again is brought to us by Premier Equestrian. Premier Equestrian, of course, focused on top-level arena footing and all of the products associated with maintaining that footing, and we appreciate their support of this second feature class of the day. We'll be kicking things off here with the first entry, 10:30, just about 7 minutes away from right now. Again, PremierEquestrian.com, as you've been seeing throughout the course of the year, is where you can find out more information on all of the products and services they offer. And we salute them as we turn your attention up to the screen for a word from our sponsor.
Premier Equestrian, the #1 choice for footing products. Premier Equestrian, footing products that improve performance. Premier Equestrian, footing products for cushion and stability. Call 800-611-6109 or visit PremierEquestrian.com.
Well, with Premier Equestrian sponsoring this class, it is another event that plays into the Captive One Open Jumper Rider bonus standings that you can see on the board now. Of course, we are just 2 classes away from the final points tabulation to determine who gets the $30,000 in bonus money, and that'll be the result of a work throughout the course of the spring, summer, and fall tours. Culminating in the American Gold Cup that's happening here, of course, later on today. Those classes of -45 or better have led to the points tabulation here. Margie Engel maintains the top position. She has been a front runner basically all season long after early season wins and placings in nearly every start of the feature classes this season. Kathleen Driscoll holds second. Santiago Lambre has moved himself up into 3rd place over the last couple of weeks here. Beat Manley in 4th. Shane Sweetenham also tied for that 4th position. He had a victory earlier this week as well. And Samuel Perot of Chile, after a nice showing early in the season, is holding 6th at this time. And, of course, Captive One is our sponsor of the Open Jumper Rider bonus. Thanks to them, a family of companies that assess, form, and manage captive insurance companies. And with a captive insurance company that you own, instead of paying premiums to a commercial carrier, you pay premiums to your captive. Any money not utilized or paid in claims stays in reserves, can be invested, and may become profit in your captive. For a feasibility review, business owners can go to CaptiveOne.com on the World Wide Web. We'll see how things shake out in the classes to come here, including this winning round event and, of course, our American Gold Cup, after which we will provide that top bonus prize, $30,000 on offer here today. Giving you a tour of the course that has been designed by Alan Wade. We'll start things out close to the in-gate over the Platinum Performance. Oxer is fence #1 here for our Premier Equestrian winning round competition. By the way, all 32 entries will, of course, be showing in this first round. They'll attempt to make it clear through this first round of competition, but no matter what, it will be the top 10 entries that come back to show in a jump-off. Starting over the Platinum Performance vertical, which is fence #1, going back toward the gate. They'll turn to the left, come away from home to jump the NetJets Oxer #2, and then a straight shot forward to the American Gold Cup vertical #3 with a Liverpool beneath that fence. Riding to the right on that lead to the Canadian Pacific Oxer #4. They will continue on a right-hand turn to the first combination on the course. That is the Major League Show Jumping Vertical Oxer 5A and 5B. One stride between those fences on their way down the diagonal. Then to fence #6, the Brownstone Arch, the vertical at #6, down toward the home end of the arena and across the in-gate end over the red tulip combination. That'll be an Oxer, one stride to the vertical at 7A and 7B. Then they'll circle around the Premier Equestrian fence to jump the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians vertical, which is labeled as fence #8. And then they'll turn to the right, away from home, over the Swan double combination. Oxer, one stride, vertical coming out. That's 9A and 9B up the bank side of the arena. Jumping fence #10, it'll be the green, white, and gold window pane Oxer heading toward the VIP end of the arena. and then they'll make a right-hand turn to jump the Premier Equestrian vertical with those solid black rails before they make a slight turn to the left to jump the Captive 1 Oxer, that signature fence, which of course pays tribute to the sponsor of our open jumper rider bonus here this week. And again, that's going to be paid out just one class from now. After the winning round, when the American Gold Cup wraps up, we will again find out who has topped the list of points qualifiers for the season. Again, a winning round competition, becoming a little more common here in recent years, but not seen all of the time. It is a class that has a designated number of qualifiers for the return round. Normally, we'd be looking for just the clear riders to come back in the jump off. In this class, if you make it into the top 10, you will be coming back. If you have no faults, of course, you'll carry no faults over into the jump off. If you've made it into the top 10 with penalties for the first round, they carry over. And then, of course, everyone shows in that jump-off round, which we'll describe coming up. Penalties are incurred for knockdowns. Each time that happens, we'll assess a 4-fault score. And if there is a refusal, disobedience, or a circle during the course of competition, we'll give 4 faults the first time it happens. If it happens a second time, that will end the horse and rider's effort, and they will exit with an elimination result. If they exceed the time allowed, which is set at 74 seconds, we'll give 1 fault for each commenced second over that time allowed. So 74.1 would give 1 fault, 75.1, 2 faults, and so on. We've got our top of the order just about set. Before we kick things off, we'll pay tribute to our United States of America and ask everyone to please rise and remove cover for our national anthem. First entry descending the hill now and making their way to the arch here at the Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel International Ring. We will be seeing in just a moment Kristen van der Veen emerge through that arch on Bull Run's Gira. It'll be number 1033 to start things off. As she approaches, it is showtime for our winning round event. So through the arch she comes now once again. The objective, get from start to finish clear, but in this class there is a little bit of an additional thought. Maybe you got to be quick as well, because if we have more than 10 qualifiers only 10 clears, that is, only the fastest.
Well, a very good morning, and going into our $37,000 Premier Equestrian 5-star winning round this morning. Now a traditional part of the lineup for the Major League Jumping shows. Kristen van der Veen, Bull Run's Gyro, to start us off for the Bull Run Jumpers Incorporated of Wellington, Florida. Many will be familiar with this class now, and it's an 8-year-old that she's riding, the gelding by Eureka, but it is going to be top 10 going into that second round. And goes in reverse order. So very much about that qualifying to get into round 2. Time allowed of 74 seconds. And we start off, as I say, with a young horse for Kristen van der Veen. Good field for this that sees just short of 40 in the first round. Alan Wade, our course designer, once again. Gives them quite a nice leaping run to start off with. And Time becomes a factor. Through the double well for them, and again, as you can see, they start to keep a bit of pace around this first round as well, because that makes a difference. They're not just about jumping clear. Through again on the one stride double. A little bit of an option down here if you're just going to stay out of the line a little bit more, but this pairing again looking pretty direct all the way through here. Kristen always known for those fast-paced rounds that she gets. Captive one fence then to finish off round in 70.88, and Bull Run's Gyra. Nice round for them indeed, and of course already obviously getting used to just moving up half a gear as well for them. Thomas Joffre now, and the Stellium Sport horses Eliante Z. For Thomas, from based down in Wellington, Florida. Been a Grand Prix winner here in Traverse City before now as well for the Argentinian rider. The horse has been moving up more, has generally gone to the big Grand Prix with Cadora. So Alan Wade very good at leaving the turns there for the riders to just tighten up. Just be careful not to drift on. Should come down nicely on a 5 to a plain pole with the wall underneath. That caused a few problems earlier on the week. No hint of shadows there at the moment. Drop short coming into the double there. Centered up on fence 8. You saw again with Kristen van der Veen, she came a little bit tighter in there, just unfortunately takes the first part of that double as they get a moving, rolling stride down that line. And a good jump to finish off, but it's going to be at 69.69 on the 8 there for Thomas Joffre. And for them, sees them in the danger zone, I'm sure, a little bit later. We'll see how it plays out, but usually the clears, maybe if the odd 4 will squeak in again with a good feel for this of well over 30. It may well be a different lineup we see getting into that jump off. I think it's probably going to be the clears only, but a little early days to be jumping on that one. Quentin Judge next. Quentin with the Double H Farms HH Zorro Z, the 9-year-old gelding by Zorocco Blue VDL. Again, has been using this horse now more into the 5-star classes. These winning rounds, again, perfect chance for them to be pre-Grand Prix before going on to that the season and the odd Grand Prix appearance. Big jumping horse. Again, just a little bit steadier in terms of its time and spends time in the air, which is a good thing, but unfortunately just loses you time as well. Has super jumping ability. Again, keen to get that move away from the fences to try and make up a little bit of that time. Another one that dropped short onto that tulip double coming out of the corner. On the 4 as it stands at the moment, and again with the 4 falters, they then need to start thinking about moving up even further gears if they can. This pair, not being quite so experienced at this level, will sit fairly, I think, within the rhythm they're already at. Still going to be a pretty good round for time there. He's been pretty efficient on some of those final turns. On the 4 there, 69.1 And Quentin Church with HH Zorro Z putting one of the faster times up that we've seen so far. Of course, very early days, few of the scratches out of the class, so moving a little bit further down to the original order. Alec Lawler next, and for gold, Grand Prix winners here a few weeks ago here in Traverse City as well. So this is very much a happy hunting ground for the Californian for gold. The Holsteiner gelding 11 years of age now by For Fashion, and Alec set to try and repeat some of those successes of a few weeks ago. So we've had an 8, a 4 and a 0 so far. Kristen van der Veen starting off nicely with the 8-year-old Bull Runs Gyra on 70.88. Alec really with this one ride into the big 5-star classes. I'd say Alan giving you every opportunity to lose or gain time early on in the course. Gets a really nice forward run to the American Gold Cup fence. So back to this CP line where again they can just cut it a little if they want. Just looks like coming on the 6 down there, gets a little close to that Major League double. And that should take you nicely on the 5 down to the wall. The one just touches there. Some of the oxers, not with the widest spread on them, but still tricky to handle as where they're positioned, how you're coming to them, how you're coming to them with a bit of speed as well. And electing on the 7 down to the double. Time-wise, this could be good and put them in a strong position if they clear the last all right. So that captive 1 fence, and they will. And looking good at 71.27, a little bit steadier than that of Kristen van der Veen and Bull Runs Gyra. They were at 70.88, but 71.27 for Alec and 4 gold. So put them as the second best so far. Should do, yes they do. So say, just a reminder, top 10 to go forward to round 2. 1 Ortiz and Vintage for the Blue Trim LLC, the Hanoverian gelding at 11 years of age now by Verdi TN. And Juan, part of the Show Plus Northern Lights team for the Venezuelan rider. Hannah Robson alongside me. Hannah, Vintage not done quite so much with them as a combination. Be interesting to see this one.
Yes, exactly. It's a relatively new partnership for Juan, and one that came from the Spanish rider Enrique Camaruaga, one that he hasn't been having too much time to get to know, but this is also the horse that he chose to ride in the team competition yesterday on the Show Plus Northern Lights team. Unfortunately, they didn't quite have the result that they wanted, finishing in 5th place, but still not too bad a result, but not in the top 4 crucially. But Juan has 3 horses that he's riding at a very good level at the moment, Kinky Boy of course being one of them, Toulouse the other horse that he rides frequently in the 5-star classes, and now brings Vintage up to the level as well. Quite impressive to bring the horse to the 5-star level so early in their partnership as well.
Nicely covering the ground up to the last 71.18, and leaves them on a clear as well. I say I think it's likely to see clears, and again, but if we end up more than 10 clears, they've got to think about time as well. Got to keep just a bit of pace about that too, otherwise you don't get through either. So a little bit different in terms of qualifying here through for this winning round. So 71.18, second fastest 1 Ortiz and Vintage. Kristen van der Veen still the quickest by a little margin, with Bull Runs Gyra on 70.88. Now to McLean Ward, Beechwood Stables Elias, and for the Rivers family, the stallion by Emerald that went so nicely for him earlier on this week. Literally, I think their second or third show together, but was ridden by Annabelle. You'll have been well aware exactly how this horse works, and having worked with the family on many occasions and some super horses for them. Went really nicely in the early part of the week.
Yeah, great performance in the 5-star jump-off class that we had here a couple of days ago. Had a really nice second place there. But as you say, you know, sometimes you talk about the fact that these riders need to get the partnership going with a relatively new ride, but that's not necessarily the case for this pair. You can see that McLean knows this horse well already. Well, he's certainly got his eye on the competition this afternoon as well.
Yeah, American Gold Cup coming on later on today at 2 o'clock. Of course, build up for that from 1:30. Make sure you join us for that. And very nicely around there, just on the 4. Another one to have the tulip double down, just finishing on the 4. Time, as you see, 67.99. They were able to drop into a really nice gear there, getting around the course to be somewhat quicker. Still gives them a chance of going through. 67.99 may go through as the fastest 4, we will see, but McLean Ward going as the 4th best score so far, with Alec Lawler, Juan Ortiz and Kristen van der Veen already putting the clears in. Carly Fairty now for the Fairgreen Sod Farm. Elite Chin de Soleil, the mare by Cassini II for Carly, originally from Markham, Ontario, also based down in Wellington, Florida these days, on the Logano team.
Yeah, Team Logano didn't, again, quite have the day that they wanted yesterday, and it's been quite a tale of two halves for them so far. 2 8th places now, but also that great win in Ottawa. But Carly was very much looking forward to riding on the team, and she was explaining that though it was she wasn't too experienced as a team rider for Team Logano, she's very confident in this horse's abilities, and she feels that this is a venue that suits the horse. She thinks he suits the arena, and he's been performing well here in the past as well. Certainly seems to be suiting this arena so far in this competition.
Again, just adds the stride there by the looks of that. It still should be a good enough time for them. Here, SA Key First leave the fences up. Going to be around the late 60s again. Oh, and just flattens off to that final fence, getting close there at 68.14. They've got a really good pace down to the final group of fences, but just takes off a little close. And on the 4 as they're going to cut across that final fence. On the 4 then for Carly Fairty and Elite Chin. And for them, just leaves them back of that, of course, McLean Ward around in 67.99. But a nice round nonetheless, just the final fence getting in the way, I'm afraid. Three clears so far of our lineup. And just walking in, yeah, it is going to be Alexis Sokolov. Connor Swale down on the ground there, training Alexis from California. Calciet EBZ. On this 9-year-old for the mare by Kornit Obolensky.
Yes, not one that Alexis herself has been riding for too long. She's been riding this horse herself since August, and this was previously one competed by Connor Swale. He's been riding one of Alexis's rides earlier this week as well, Fasole de Seigneur, in the 2-star competitions. This horse was also earlier in its career with the likes of Gregory Wathelet and Cindy van der Straten of Belgium. Those 2 talented 5-star riders. Certainly has all the scope necessary for this 5-star competition. She had a good double clear with this horse in the 2-star 2-phase competition in August at our Major League leg. But really getting to grips with each other, getting to know each other very well now, and Alexis under that expert guidance of Connor Swale. She went to jump in some competitions in Europe earlier in the year as well, earlier in the summer, really getting experience at a number of different venues. Again, gets a little bit close to the last, and so sadly has the final fence as well. The front rail just drops there. So it's going to be 2 down for Alexis Sokolov. 70.87 is her time. And we do have a few 4 faulting rounds, 3 4 faulting rounds and 3 clears. So remember, the top 10, regardless of their score, go through to the next round, to the winning round. So that might make it a little bit tricky for Alexis having the 2 fences down, but that's her total, just 8. And 70.87 her time. Well, next in then we've got Kyle King with Etalon. Kyle rides on the Roadrunners team, but of course extremely experienced competitor outside of that competition as well. Etalon is a 13-year-old Dutch-bred horse by Ottangelo. He's been jumping this horse in the 3-star competitions, most recently at Spruce Meadows, for a lot of top 10 finishes and plenty of podium finishes as well, both at Spruce Meadows and in Vancouver. He's just working on the 4 coming down this final line, but the time's extremely good, 67.9. That is our fastest time yet. He's just a fraction faster than McLean Ward, who stopped the clock in 67.99. But a fence down sees Kyle King with Etalon as the fastest for falters. Well, from Kyle King for the USA, we then go to Shane Sweetnam, Birdie Dutho. This fantastic combination, been so successful. And Shane's got so many great horses at the moment. Of course, James Cancruz, one of his very, very top rides. This is one that has also been ridden by Ashley Vogel. He had 1 down in the first round of the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City last time. Brings this horse though now to this winning round competition. He's done very well here at this venue so far though with this horse. Had a 4th and a double clear in a jump off class here as well, also in August at the 5-star level, so really pretty consistent combination. It's one that Shane has also ridden for the teams. You see the Spyco Spies icon there. Spyco Spies again not quite having the day they wanted yesterday, but still remain in the top ranks of the overall season standings in the Major League team competition. But what a great, great round. A lovely clear for Shane Sweetnam with Birdie Dutho. The time is 69.42, so he is well within the time allowed, which is 74 seconds. So he joins the ranks of the clears, and in fact he is the fastest clear that we've had so far, so that puts him at the top of the tree as things stand. Looking pretty good for a journey on into the next round. Moving on down our international list, our next competitor rides, of course, for Israel. It's the turn of Alberto Michon. This morning he rides Firewall here. It's one that he's had since January of 2022. This was previously with Theo Gen of the USA. And this horse has been a great partner already for Alberto. It's been in the top 10 8 times so far this year already, and been on the podium 5 times. They're nearly 75% of the time clear, which just shows you how consistent they can be. Well, another lovely clear round. It's clear in 71.63, so that gives us our 5th clear round. Alberto Michan. He's not the fastest of the clears, but crucially he is indeed clear. So he joins Shane Sweetnam, Kristen van der Veen, Juan Ortiz and Alec Lawler. They're your 5 clears so far, but of course crucially it's got to be the top 10 going through to the next round. So Shane Sweetnam's looking pretty good there with our fastest time for a clear, but 5 clears already. 4 faulting rounds, the fastest of those being Kyle King. It's looking likely that a clear round is what they're going to need, and quite a quick one as well to get through to the next round. Grace Debney takes on this course next with Zarina Davido. Horse owned by Temple Equestrian LLC, and it's an 11-year-old mare by Diamond de Semy. She's just outside the top 200 in the Longines World Rankings at the moment. Also competed at the Young Rider European Championships for a team bronze and individual 6th place. The horse that she rode there was Bohème de la Roque. But she jumped in the 3-star Grand Prix here in Traverse City last month for a 14th place, just 1 fence down. And earlier this year she's actually had 4 wins in Wellington, those wins taking all the way up to 5-star. It's a horse she's had since 2021, and you can really see that they have such a strong partnership already. It's our fastest clear so far. Grace Debney takes the top spot as it stands, 67.78. That is an extremely good time. She's taken nearly 2 seconds off the time of Shane Sweetnam. So it's looking pretty confident that she might be heading into the next round. But of course, as the competition progresses, we might see these riders go ever faster in their bid to get through to the next round. Top 10 is what they need to be to get through to that winning round. Another very talented rider coming into the ring now, who also rides on Team Lugano. We've had a couple of Team Lugano teammates here already this morning. This is Vanessa Hood, and Vanessa rides Cascalretto. She jumped in the winning round competition here at Traverse City at our previous Major League show jumping leg. Just had 2 time penalties, but finished in 13th place. She was on that winning team for Team Lugano in Ottawa, jumped some fantastic rounds there to seal that win. This pair are about 40% of the time clear in 2022 so far. She jumped very successfully with this horse at Spruce Meadows as well. Gets a pretty deep shot to fence 11. She's taking her time a little bit, obviously wants to get the clear. And that she does. 71.98 the time, but gives us another clear round. Vanessa Hood and Cascalretto They give us our 7th clear. She is in fact the slowest, so she might be wanting to look at the time a little bit. She's banking on some other riders doing slower clears than hers, or banking on riders having penalties in this first round in her bid to get into that winning round in the second round of this competition. But a really lovely clear round, and that's great to have on their record as well. Santiago Lambre comes next with Casey. Slightly different horse to our initial list. This horse is a 12-year-old. And is a German-bred horse. So far, this pair have been in the top 10 at fences of 1.50 meter height 33% of the time. But they also won a 3-star 1.45 meter class here at Traverse City earlier this month. Fantastic double clear, and speedy as well for the win there. It just shows you again how quickly this pair have got used to each other, how quickly they formed their partnership. This horse was previously ridden by Philip Weishaupt and is one that Santiago's been developing over the course of 2022 extremely successfully. All fences staying up so far, and the time is looking extremely quick. Could be one of our fastest yet. Really nicely down that final line, and the time he stops the clock in is 67.13. It is indeed our fastest clear so far, so Santiago Lambre puts himself in a great position to hopefully go through to our next round. Now swiftly to Samuel Parot of Chile. He rides Captain Z. Samuel based in Wellington. This is a horse that he owns. This is a 10-year-old stallion by Calvino Z. Samuel is a really notoriously fast rider, and this is a pretty quick horse as well. Certainly be interesting to see what their time is. The horse looks quite strong, and sometimes, yeah, fence coming down there, he's just not able to get the height as the horse gets a bit flat when he gets a bit stronger. I see down the final line, but look at that time, 66.54. That would be our fastest round so far, but one fence down. It means that Samuel Parot is our fastest for Falter, but since we have 8 clears already, he might be struggling a little bit to stay in the top 10, but it still depends what all the other riders do. He's in the 9th spot so far. So it remains to be seen whether or not we will see him in the next round. Sean Jobin comes next. He's a rider on the Show Plus Northern Lights team. This morning he rides Kokelikot Van Het Hoveyan Z for the Foxridge Farm stables. A 10-year-old by Katoki, 10-year-old gelding, out of a Cassini mare. Very well-bred horse. He's been a key part of the Show Plus Northern Lights team. He's ridden on the team several times so far this year. And this horse is 50% clear over fences of 150. These are 145 in height, and they're 48% of the time clear over 1.45 meter fences. So again, pretty consistent across 2022 so far. In all of their competitions, they are just over 60% of the time clear. across a range of heights, a range of levels. They came second in our opening class, that welcome 5-star 2-phase competition we had a few days ago. He's been pretty speedy round this course and now just takes a bit more time to the penultimate fence. Good forward stride down to the last, and the time here is 71.83. Interestingly, he's the second slowest of our clears. It slots him into 8th place so far, but not much separates them. Our fastest clear so far is Santiago Lambre. His time was 67.13. Sean's time 71.83, so about 4 seconds separating those times, but he's still in the top 10 as it stands. He's still in the 8th spot, so as of our current results, he will be going through to the next round. But will he stay there? That's the question. We've got some very, very exciting combinations still to come. We've got the likes of Kent Farrington, Hunter Holloway, Tanner Korotkin with Quinn, 33, with whom he's had several 5-star wins recently, particularly good on the clock. We've got Jacqueline Steffens, Sam Walker, world number 4 Connor Swale, Jordan Coyle, who of course again really renowned rider for his speed. Plenty of big names to come for you in this competition as we just see Kent Farrington heading down the hill on Greer. Well, here he is then in action, Kent Farrington, and what a treat it is to see this former world number 1 in action here. Bit of a development year for him with some of these horses, but he certainly keeps on winning through that. Greer is a really exciting one that he's got. Has this small, athletic, speedy type of build that he seems to really like. This mare is just an 8-year-old. And is one of Kent's string that is just going from strength to strength. We've seen this horse in the earlier 5-star competitions this week. Really impressive showing in our opening class. Been jumping this horse in Ottawa as well. Came second in the 2-star Grand Prix there. But they've had a good few top 10 placings. This horse also had wins in the young horse classes. Was only back in 2021. And again, Kent Farrington shows us how it's done. Greer with another beautiful 5-star performance, 68 seconds. Just confirm that full time for you, but it looks like it might be 68 on the nose. Great time. I mean, he knows exactly what he needs to do. He knows he needs to be clear. He knows it needs to be pretty quick. And that is our 3rd fastest clear so far. 68 seconds exactly. That's the time for Kent Farrington with Greer, our 3rd fastest. They sit in 3rd place at the moment. But remember, what they're trying to do is just get through to the winning round competition. So regardless of their score and their time in this first round, they just want to be in the top 10 to get through to the next round. Their scores then are discounted. So, you know, in some previous runnings of the winning round competition, we've seen 4 falters end up winning the class because the score is discounted. Another very fast rider and a talented lady coming forward here. Hunter Holloway rides Lopez T. Again, a relatively new partnership. The Major League show in Toronto was only the 2nd show for this pair, so this is their 4th show together. They competed here at Traverse City in July. Just had one down in a 3-star speed competition. But Hunter's a very fast rider, and this horse is naturally quick as well. Good foot speed over the ground. This is a previous ride of Hendrik Jan Schuttert and Sally Hopkinson. Sally Hopkinson being a rider for Great Britain. Very impressively, Hunter is 21st in the FEI Jumping Under 25 rankings. Sadly, just didn't quite get the distance over the Oxer at fence 10, so the back rail comes down there. Nicely down the final line though. Just one fence down, it's going to be 4 for her. We'll just bring you her time as soon as we have it. 70.31, there you have the time, but unfortunately, despite that really nice round, our top 10 is now populated exclusively with clear rounds. So Hunter Holloway's 4 is not going to get her into the next round. Now it has to be clear. They can't just rely on a fast 4. And it's interesting the way these competitions play out, because we've had quite a few of them with really different results actually. So in Ottawa and in Toronto we've had only 1 clear in the first round and then a lot of 4 falters going through. This time it's got to be a clear to get through. Tanner Korotkin heads in next with Quinn 33. He made his first appearance for the Spy Coast Spies yesterday. And he's such a talented young rider. Quinn has been a great partner already for him. Pretty new partnership, but the horse is so naturally quick. He's had 2 5-star wins already with this horse. And he really says that he can trust this horse. He knows that the horse has the scope, and he certainly knows he's got the speed there. In fact, the first of those 5-star wins was here at Traverse City in the speed class. That was at our Major League leg back in August. And that was their first international show together. They're about 75% of the time clear. This is a former horse that's done World Cup and Nations Cup competitions with Felipe Amaral of Brazil. So, good CV for this horse. Be interesting to see what the time is. I certainly don't think he's been hanging around at all, but beautiful clear round. Tanner Korotkin, another great 5-star performance with this horse. Certainly a really exciting combination for the future. Well, they're an exciting combination now, but what a pair for the future. Again, we'll just confirm that time for you as soon as we have it. There we go, 70.4 seconds. So 70.4. Who's going to have them in 5th place at the moment. So they're in the middle of our list of riders who are currently in the top 10. We don't want too many more to be faster than that. Unfortunately as well, that drops Vanessa Hood out of the top 10. She had that lovely clear, but her time was 71.98 seconds. And therefore she drops out of the top 10. She will not go through to the next round. Bert Mandley comes next. Great to have this top Swiss competitor here this week. Chartrain Prix Noir is his ride. He's 145th in the Longines World Rankings at the moment, but of course Bert has competed in 3 Olympic Games, 3 World Equestrian Games, 9 World Cup finals, 5 European Championships and 1 Nations Cup final. Now tackles this 5-star winning round competition with Chartrain Prix Noir. Of course, he's been riding since 2022. And there we have another clear round. Really, really nicely done, Bert Mandley. Again, another rider who we have come to expect will show us how it's done, and indeed he does. 67.59 is his time. It's our second fastest. He goes into second spot. He's just behind Santiago Lambre. And that means that Sean Jobin drops out. Sean Jobin will go into 11th place, drops out of the top 10. Alex Granato comes next. Helios van der Nossahover is the ride. Another rider trying to get into that top 10. It will require at the moment a time faster than 71.63, but in order to be guaranteed that, they've got to be quite a way faster. But now a fence down. What a shame. So with a fence down and more than 10 clears, Alex Granato will not be going through to our next round. More fences coming down now. Just had a little bit of saw a bit of a long one into that double. Just didn't quite then get the distance. It's a horse that he's not had for too long, just since June. It was previously with Gustavo Prato of Argentina. Down the final line then, it's 2 fences down in fact. One early on near the in-gate, and then the A part of the double combination at 10 comes down, at 9 excuse me, comes down with those swan style wings. 8 is going to be the total for Alex Granato. He's a little way down the leaderboard. Well, you can just see the arena party making sure that the footing is absolutely perfect, and so many of the riders have commented on what a beautiful venue this is. Fantastic facilities for both horses and riders. Such a lovely setting in this arena. We've got the grass hill on the back of the arena where we have some seating areas for spectators. It's already getting pretty busy this morning. I've been extremely lucky with the weather this week as well. Beautiful sunshine and about the mid-70s if you're on Fahrenheit, mid-20s if you're on Celsius in terms of temperature. A bit of a gentle breeze, but it really has been beautiful weather all week. And we're hoping that it will hold out for this afternoon's American Gold Cup. Not a cloud in the sky though on your screens, as you can see. We go on to another key rider for the Major League team competitions, riding for Team Eye Candy as well as for Ireland. It is Paul O'Shea. Paul O'Shea here this morning rides Hellcat. He has a good few top rides with Team Eye Candy. And Hellcat's been a good partner for him already. Helped the Eye Candy team to several podium finishes last year. But he was second in the winning round competition here at Traverse City in August. So far this year, he's been in the top 10 9 times with this horse, and about 50% of the time clear. Paul, of course, former Nations Cup final rider and World Equestrian Games rider. In fact, at the Nations Cup final, he got team gold, individual silver. There with Skara Glen's Machu Picchu. Hellcat, very much one of his top rides now. And with those statistics I just mentioned, you can really see the consistency. He's not wasting any time around these turns. And with a second place here, or in the August running of this competition. Oh, what a shame. Keeps the pace up. Kept the pace up down that final line, but unfortunately the pace made the final fence fall. So the front rail goes down of the final fence. It's just going to be 4 for Paul O'Shea, but it was a fantastic time. 64.9. He would have been well at the top of our leaderboard, but unfortunately he's now our fastest 4. He's in 13th place at the moment as we have the 12 clears. Well, we go on to Paul's teammate on Team Eye Candy. Now, Jacqueline Steffens. She rides for Canada and for Eye Candy. This morning she rides Cat Ninja. Jacqueline actually won the winning round competition here at Traverse City last time around. So she knows exactly what she needs to do. The horse knows what she needs to do as well. This lovely 14-year-old mare. Mare by VDL Zirocco Blue out of a Corland mare. Sadly a fence down so far. Jacqueline, I'm sure, will be all too aware of what it is that she needs to do, and so by the looks of it, yeah, she's choosing to retire. She knows that there's no need to push Cat Ninja in this competition. She's had a fence down. She won't be in the top 10. So opts to save the horse very sensibly for another day. No need to overexert the horse. Cat Ninja's already experienced. They don't particularly need the educational run around here. Lacey Gilbertson now in this purple jacket that's becoming really quite recognisable for her. Damsel Saint-Amel is her ride. She's another rider with a good few top horses at the moment, and she's been a really key part of the Spyco Spies team. Unfortunately, as I say, not quite their day yesterday. But Lacey has jumped fantastically well for the team, with a range of different horses as well. She's been jumping this horse here at Traverse City for quite some weeks. Had just one fence down in the 2-star Grand Prix back in July, and she was 3rd in the winning round competition earlier in August with this horse. Double clear there. So again, knows what she needs to do. So interestingly, we've had 1, 2 and 3 from the previous winning round from this competition here this morning. Lacey Gilbertson, the latest of those, took 3rd spot. Can she go higher up the podium today? She's looking for a place in the top 10 to get her into the next round. Just a 9-year-old, this horse, which is quite incredible considering what they've done already. She wasn't wasting any time. She's got the clear. She needs to be quicker than 71.63 to be in the top 10, because that is the time of Alberto Michan, who sits in 10th spot. So can Lacey knock him out of the top 10 and take a spot herself? .6 seconds. It's a fantastic time. In fact, it's our fastest yet. Lacey Gilbertson riding that like a speed class to take the top spot as it stands. 66.6 sees her take the top of the tree. She's at the top of our top 10. She drops Alberto Michan out of the top 10. He will not be coming forward in the next round. On then to Sam Walker. Sam's a rider on the Show Plus Northern Lights team, but again, extremely talented and experienced young rider. He jumped here in Traverse City at our previous leg and at the North American Youth Championships for Team Bronze. But he's got plenty of 5-star successes to his name as well. Evita being one of his top horses. Evita is actually the horse with whom he won a 5-star two-phase competition in Ottawa and came third in the winning round competition. Sadly a fence down here. Angelica Hero Z is a 10-year-old mare, and it's a relatively new horse for Sam. He's had this horse since earlier this year, but hasn't competed too extensively. So nice for them to get the miles on the clock and get this performance under their belts. Unfortunately, just clips the front rail at the last as well. To take that pole down, 69.09 would have been a really good time. It would have been good enough for 6th at the moment, but 2 fences down. Unfortunately, Sam Walker will not be coming through to the next round. Alec Lawler is safe for now with 4 gold, 71.27 the time. But leading the way still is Lacey Gilbertson, clear with 66.6 seconds. Amazing round. As I say, riding it like a speed class to take the top spot at the moment. She is guaranteed to go through to the next round. Connor Swale, I'm sure, will put pressure on the riders in the top 10. Theo 160 is his ride. Theo is the horse that he rode in yesterday's team competition as well. Connor, of course, 4th in the Longines World Rankings at the moment. He's just been so consistent. He had those fantastic performances at the Dublin Horse Show on the winning team in the Nations Cup competition, the Aga Khan. Great performance in the Grand Prix as well, 2nd. Those performances were with Count Me In, but he's a fast rider. He's such a precise and accurate rider as well. Theo is a 10-year-old owned by Team Phillip Arts. For the team last year, Connor rides on Team Eye Candy. With Theo, he never dropped a single pole, so 100% of the time clear for the team. Oh, what a shame. Just comes out of that double a little bit quickly. Theo gets a bit flat with the back legs, and so takes the upright down. Ooh, this is uncharacteristic as well. I think just getting a little bit strong. He's got the pace up, and so a run out at the double. Very unusual for this pair. Well, he takes the last down as well. He's going to be considerably over the time allowed as well, of course, with the circling. So it's a total of 22 for Connor Swale. He'll go into 25th place at the moment. What we're really looking for is the top 10. So certainly a combination that you would have thought had all the potential to get into the top 10, but not going to be their day today. Rally Hyla comes next. Casina 64 is the ride. 13-year-old Oldenburg mare by Collado. Riley's been competing this horse in Europe this summer, competing in Deauville. Dinard knocker from June onwards. A good few top 10s over there. Jumps this horse generally up to the 4-star level. This is their first 5-star competition together, their first week of 5-star competition. But they've been pretty solid at the 4-star level. As I say, plenty of top 10s. Did very well at Devon for 2 8th place finishes. At the end of last year, they also jumped in a big 3-star Grand Prix at Tryon. All the fences staying up so far. This is pretty quick as well. 70.46. It's not, in fact, the fastest. She just took a little bit more of a hold down to the final fence, but 70.46 the time. Rally Hyler goes into 8th place, into the top 10. That means that Alec Lawler drops out of the top 10. Alec Lawler with 4 gold will not go through to the next round. Jordan Coyle comes next, another Irish rider. Good turnout of the Irish riders here this morning. And he rides Picador. Another combination who we've seen on the Major League team competitions. Jordan, as you can see, rides for the Spy Coast Spies team. Picador is a horse that Jordan took to the Dublin Horse Show as well. He had a 2nd place in the 5-star speed class there very recently. So Jordan's a fast rider, Picador a very fast horse. Oh, what a shame. Not going their way through the double. You can see Jordan just taking a little bit of a pull there as the horse gets quite strong. It's a shame for them. And looks like they're going to retire. Horse just had a good look at that fence and took the front rail out at the A element, then just didn't quite get the height enough ready for the B element, and so with 2 fences down, Jordan very wisely calls it a day and retires. He knows that with 2 fences down there's no chance of being in the top 10. And so there is no real need to continue. Picador is experienced enough. Well, our penultimate rider in the first round of this competition this morning is Nicolette Hurt with Oak Grove's Desperado. Just a 9-year-old. This gelding by Diamant de Semy, out of a Lux Z mare. Nicolette needs to beat 71.18 if she's to go into the top 10. So as we have 2 riders left to go, that means that Rally Hyler is safe, Tanaka Rotkin is safe, Shane Sweetnam is safe. And we have a whole host of them now through to the 2nd round. Nicolette Hurt 2 fences down, unfortunately. That's going to keep her out of the top 10. But the horse is only a 9-year-old, so it's very much worth continuing around this competition and just getting the miles on the clock, getting the experience up. Gets a nice measured turn back to the penultimate fence. And good to the last as well. It's 71.01 on the clock. 2 fences down though for Nicolette Hurt. No spot in the top 10 for her, unfortunately. Lacey Gilbertson is very much safe, as is Santiago Lambre, as well as Bert Mandley, Grace Debney, Kent Farrington, Shane Sweetnam, Tanaka Rotkin, Rally Hyler and Kristen van der Veen. Juan Ortiz is in 10th spot. This man could potentially knock him out of the top 10. Riding for Colombia, it's Roberto Terán Tafur with Santana. Another rider known for speed. Went to the World Championships with Des Uchthoff, another horse that he has here this week. Santana, though, is just a 9-year-old, owned by the Rocking Basilisk farm, and is one that Roberto's had since about March of this year. The horse was developed by David Will of Germany. He's had 8 top 10 finishes with this horse already in relatively short space of time, so they are really quite consistent. He jumped in the 3-star Grand Prix here at Traverse City a few days ago. It was last week. 1 fence down for 15th. Gets a bit deep to fence 10. Takes the front rail out. So Juan Ortiz is indeed safe. 2 down now for Roberto Terán. Good to the last though. Time's good as well, 69.88, but 2 fences down will see him in 25th place, and crucially, not in the top 10. Well, what a competition. We've had 14 clear rounds, but unfortunately only the top 10 can go through. That's the way this competition works. No matter how many clears, only the top 10 go through to the next round. We have 10 clears, 10 fastest clears. Juan Ortiz is just squeaking in there in 10th place. But once they go through to the next round, those scores and times will be discounted. It's like a jump off. So whatever their scores are in the next round is how we will determine the placings. It'll be done on faults and time once again. And it'll be taking place over a shortened course. So as you can see, the arena party are just moving things around and just getting things ready. But there are the jump off qualifiers, and this is the order that they will jump in. They go in reverse order of merit from that round. So Juan Ortiz will go first with Vintage. Kristen van der Veen will go second with Bull Runs Giret. Early rider there holding on to the top 10. Riley Hyler with Casina 64 will be followed by Tanaka Rotkin with Quinn 33. Shane Sweetnam and Birdie Dutho go 5th. Kent Farrington and Greer go 6th. Great Britain's Grace Debney goes 7th with Zarina Davido. Bert Mandley and Chartrain Prix Noir go next. Santiago Lambre with Casey follows, and finally we'll round things out with our fastest clear from round 1, Lacey Gilbertson and Damsel Saint-Amel. They are your top 10. That's the order that they will jump in. Juan Ortiz will be first to go. Well, the arena will be prepared for this jump-off course, or the second round course. That'll be a shorter course, and I'll take you through that when we have the course prepared. It's going to be 7B, 8, 9AB, 10, 11, and then 2 new fences at 13 and 14. 13 being part of the double at 5 in reverse, and then fence 4 in reverse as well. So the arena will just be prepared now for this jump off. Tractors coming in just to ensure that that footing is absolutely perfect for the next round. But do stay with us. We'll be back in just a few moments' time.
Our horses are so much more than athletes. They can deliver our dreams with every ride. So we give them the best nutrition, the best health care, and the best equipment. Be sure to give the best transportation too. For 60 years, Brookledge has led the way in on-time delivery, customer focus, state-of-the-art equipment, and the best drivers in the industry. Brookledge, delivering your dreams since 1955.
I'm Javin Dahlman with Dahlman Jump Co. Our easy-to-use aluminum schooling courses start at $65.99. We deliver them to your door and take your trade-ins. All of our jumps are backed by a lifetime warranty. Call and talk to an expert about your hunter, jumper, and equitation jump needs. You can even make your own custom designs. Get horse show ready with Dahlman Jump Co. And make sure to visit DahlmanJumpCo.com for more information.
The most successful journeys can start in the most unexpected place. A place where I'm encouraged, where I can learn with my friends, where I can fly. At Detroit Horsepower, they teach me the tools I'll take with me on my successful journey. Perseverance, empathy, responsible risk-taking, confidence, and self-control. We call these the perks. They're just part of what we do here at Detroit Horsepower. Our goal is twofold: provide opportunities for youth in Detroit like me, and contribute to the city's renewal by building our new facility on vacant land. Let's go on a successful journey together. Find ways to donate and volunteer at DetroitHorsepower.org.
Well, here we have a bit of a rundown of the Captive One Open Jumper Rider Bonus leaderboard, which of course will be closed out today as well. Margie Engel sits at the top of that tree. Kathleen Driscoll, as you can see, in second, and Shane Sweetenham takes the 3rd spot. Here are your top 6. These are the riders that have been competing here at Traverse City over a period of time. This is, if you like, a bit of a season standings in Traverse City, which I'm sure most of you will have been following along with. And as I say, we have the final leg of that taking place this afternoon, closing things out with the American Gold Cup competition. That will be kicking off at around about 2 p.m. local time, so do tune in for that. We'll be bringing you all of the action live from that competition later on today. Before then though, we need to round out this winning round competition. Had a fantastic performance from a number of riders in the first round. 14 clears, which meant that the top 10 had to be the fastest 10 clears, and this man just got in there in 10th spot. But regardless of where they came through into this competition, we are running this like a jump off, so it's over a shortened course and it's judged on faults and time. They will jump in reverse order of merit from round 1, so Juan Ortiz, as our slowest of the top 10 clears, will go first with Vintage. Relatively new ride for him, certainly one that has all the potential to go very, very well. This is the horse that he rode in the team competition yesterday as well. One, of course, rides for Venezuela. And here we have our course. It's 7B from the double by the in gate, followed by 8 in the middle of the ring. 9A and B, the double that caused quite a few problems on the far side of the arena, then down the curving line to fence 10, that oxer there. A roll back then to the Premier Equestrian fence at 11, he takes that on the angle. 13 is a new fence. It's 5B, that Major League branded fence in reverse, and then the CP oxer, fence 14 to finish. And of course being fence 4 in reverse. Well, Juan Ortiz gives us first double clear of the day, and what a great performance for a relatively new partnership. Juan Ortiz been jumping so consistently over the past few weeks. Kristen van der Veen comes next with Bull Runs Jure. She came through in a time of 70.88, but this is where the time counts. Bull Runs Jure going better and better for her as well. Relatively young horse, just an 8-year-old. Oh, what a good turn back to the penultimate fence. This is looking quick, looks quicker than Juan's time. Oh, it's close actually, very close indeed. 34.95, she is indeed faster. She's going to pip Juan Ortiz into second. Kristen van der Veen takes an early lead. She takes just under a second off Juan Ortiz's time. She was particularly quick on the turn back to the penultimate fence. But it's interesting to see where these riders take the seconds and the fractions of seconds out. Rally Hyla comes next with Casina 64. Third rider to go in this second round, this winning round. Gets a good turn back to the Eagle fence. Now heads for the double on the far side of the ring. Rally Rise Casina 64. As I say, this is a 13-year-old, so a little bit more of an experienced horse. Keeps the pace up well around the back of the Major League wall. Now this is where she can save time on the turns. Ooh, has a little rattle at the penultimate fence. And boldly to the last. That looks like it's going to really pay off for her. 34.43. about half a second off the time of Kristen van der Veen. So we're going faster and faster as this competition progresses. What a great, great performance from Rally Heiler. Takes the top spot at the moment. And no doubt these early riders will be all too aware of who is still to come in this competition. We have got some amazingly fast riders coming, and some who have already had success in similar competitions in speed classes. And this next man is certainly one of those. Tanner Korotkin just settles Quinn as he comes into the ring. 2 5-star wins already in just 2 months, and just 2 months with this horse. They've gelled together so well. They've won in speed classes. They've won in jump-off classes. So naturally quick, individually and now together. Tanner Korotkin, Quinn 33, speedily down to the double. Takes a bit of a hold to the Premier Equestrian fence, pays off. He'd love the double clear, I'm sure. Oh, what a shame. Oh, fantastic shot to the last. The time was brilliant. 33.31. He's taken more than a second off the time of Rally Heiler, but oh, what a shame that penultimate fence drops. Absolutely agonising there, but he drops into 4th place so far. Tanner Korotkin, though, of course, has had plenty of success this season so far, and this is still an extremely good performance from that pair. Of course, he still competes in the young rider classes as well, jumped at the North American Youth Championships here just a few weeks ago. And also talented to compete at the 5-star level. Will Shane Sweetnam comes next. Birdie Dutho. Shane, one of the very top riders in the world, top 20, 17th, I believe, in the world rankings at the moment. Birdie Dutho is his ride here today. This is another experienced horse, arguably more experienced than one of his other top rides at the moment, who is, of course, James Can Cruz, that being a 9-year-old. Birdie Dutho is an 11-year-old. Shane is also not a rider you'd want to bet against. There's your time to beat, though. 34.43 is the time of Rally Heiler. That is a more forward approach to the Premier Equestrian upright. Oh, brilliantly to the last. 33.13. It's quicker even than Tanner Korotkin. And as I say, these rounds are getting faster and faster as the competition goes on, as these riders absolutely put their foot to the floor. 33.13, and it's clear. Shane Sweetnam takes top spot, more than a second quicker than Rally Heiler. He is your new leader, and that's the new time to beat. He's had a brilliant few weeks of competition. Of course, on that winning team in the Nations Cup at the Dublin Horse Show as well. And jumping really well so far this week as well. Well, another rider who is one of the very best in the world to watch. Former world number 1. With this string of incredibly talented young horses, but you know, they're talented young horses, but they've been brought on and developed by this super talented rider. As I say, former world number 1, but 8th in the world rankings at the moment. It is, of course, Kent Farrington. Here he rides Greer, this 8-year-old mare. He knows what he needs to do. He's having a good look around the course. Just comes to the first on a bit of a tighter turn back. As I say, just an 8-year-old. He gets a very tight turn back to fence 8. He's so speedy. And what you really notice about Kent as well is there's hardly any moment after the jump before he moves on. He's just such a smooth rider. Never wastes any time, economical on the turns. Yeah, takes the Premier Equestrian fence on the left-hand side just to save as much time as he can. He's on 28 seconds now. Time to beat 33.13. Oh, it's tight, very tight. Yeah, 34.07. He's just outside that time. And, you know, he certainly was very, very economical. I wonder if he just didn't want to push it too much with this horse, being an 8-year-old, but an amazing performance. And those turns were fantastic. It really is about fractions of a second in these competitions. So 33.13, the time of Shane Sweetnam, 34.07, the time of Kent Farrington, and 34.43, the time of Raleigh Hyler. Very, very close at the top of the leaderboard. Hardly anything to separate these riders. And we have 4 more to come. Grace Debney goes next, riding for Great Britain with Zarina Davido. For Temple Equestrian LLC. Oh, that's very quick around this turn. She's a bit more pacey around there. Needs to just be careful that the fences don't come down. Oh, lucky there. Bit of a rub. Oh, I mean, that is just outstanding. What a fantastic performance. 31.89. More than a second, about a second and a half quicker than Shane Sweetnam. We thought he was very, very fast, but Grace Debney, she's still going quite speedily out of the ring. Just look at the way she galloped to the last. Oh, she's been jumping fantastically this season, and a young rider. Great to see, actually, a mix of young riders and experienced names in this competition. But 31.89, that's going to take some beating. Bert Mandley for Switzerland comes next. Riding Chartrain Prix Noir. Remember, they're going in reverse order of merit from round 1, so we're getting to the faster rounds from round 1 as we go on through this competition. Goes a little bit wider around the Major League wall. That, of course, not part of this course, but I'm sure will be in the American Gold Cup later. Really quick away from that fence. Ooh, quick to the last as well. It's not going to quite be enough. 33.39. Oof, Mandley goes into 3rd place. 0.26 of a second slower than Shane Sweetnam. That's how much it takes to make the difference. Hardly anything. And 34.07, the time of Kent Farrington, drops him into 4th. Santiago Lambre is next in then. Two riders left to come. Casey is the ride for Santiago Lambre. This 12-year-old owned by Mario Onate. Riding, of course, for Brazil. It's a big striding horse, so could be deceptive on the time. Time is looking good, but unfortunately the penultimate fence goes down. 32.45 the time, but 1 fence down. It's going to be faster than Tanner Korotkin, so he's going into 8th place so far, but that 1 fence down makes all the difference. So 7 double clears on the board in this competition so far. The fastest at the moment is still Grace Debney. Zarina Davido. 1 more rider could knock Grace off the top spot. And again, this lady is quick. She's naturally a quick rider. The horse is naturally quick too. 9-year-old horse ridden by Lacey Gilbertson. Horse, of course, being Damsel Santamel, one that if you have been following the Major League season, you'll have seen many times in the 5-star competitions, a rider and horse, of course. Lacey Gilbertson gets a bit of a pace up before heading to the first fence. She's the final rider to go. The time to beat is 31.89. That's the time held by Grace Debney. Lacey Gilbertson's got to go for it if she's going to make that time. She was quite careful at the start of this course. Economical turn. She'll take this on the angle. Yeah, gets there. Ooh, has to take a bit of a pull to the penultimate fence. I think time-wise this is tight. Yeah, it is a little bit tight, but a great clear round. A lovely double clear for Lacey. She's got to go into 5th place. She'll slot just behind Kent Farrington and just ahead of Raleigh Hyler. 34.12 the time. And, as I say, a lovely double clear. But a fantastic performance from all of these competitors. It is 8 double clears. But at the top of the tree is Grace Debney for Great Britain, Zarina Davido. They are your winners. Double clear in the time in this second round. 31.89. What an amazing time, and quite some way, more than a second, down to the time of Shane Sweetenham and Bodie Dutho, 33.13. Bert Mandley takes 3rd spot with Chartrain Prix Noir, 33.39. Kent Farrington takes 4th with Greer. Lacey Gilbertson, our final rider to go, takes 5th with Damsel Santamel, and Raleigh Hyler takes 6th with Cassina 64. Kristen van der Veen takes the 7th spot. Bull Runs Jure. Juan Ortiz takes 8th with Vintage. The last of our double clears. Santiago Lambre had a fence down, but a quick time with Casey for 9th, and Tana Karotkin rounds out the top 10 with Quinn 33. Another fantastic 5-star performance from that pair to round out the top 10. Well, the arena's just being prepared for the prize-giving ceremony. Grace Debney, as I say, is your winner, and a well-deserved one. She absolutely went for the time. Nobody could catch 31.89 seconds. But the action doesn't stop there. We've got the American Gold Cup to bring you later on today. That kicks off at about 2 p.m. local time here in Traverse City in Michigan. All of that will be live for you on MLSJ TV and also on Clip My Horse. So do tune in for that. Here's the rest of the leaderboard. The top 20 now. Alec Lawler takes the 11th spot. He was also clear in round 1, but just not quick enough to get into the top 10. As you can see, 4 riders in that position. Alberto Michan in 12th, Sean Jobin in 13th. Vanessa Hood takes 14th with our final clear. Paul O'Shea was the fastest of the 4 falters in round 1, with Hellcat for 15th. Samuel Parot takes 16th with Captain Z. Carl King takes 17th with Etalon. McLean Ward goes 18th with Ilias. Another 4 faulting round. Carly Fairty gets the 19th spot with Elite Chin de Salieu. And Quentin Judge takes 20th with HH Zorro Z. Well, an impressive competition, an impressive list of riders, and most certainly one that I very much enjoyed taking you through. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. But do join us again for the American Gold Cup. As I say, that will be kicking off in just a few hours' time at 2 p.m. local time. Do join us again for that.
She was a recent competitor at the European Championships, during which she was a part of a bronze medal team as a young rider there, and was the top-ranked British rider, number 6 in the overall individual standings as well. A great young rider showing promise to be a part of the senior teams in the future as well. Grace Debney today earning herself an individual victory in our winning round competition, again aboard Zarina de Vidal. The winning time there, again, was 31:89. We're going to work our way up through with the third place stepping into place for the photograph, Beat Manley, and Chartrain Prenoir in 33:39 earned that third prize. And once again, being presented with the awards here by CEO of the Premier Equestrian Sponsors, Mark Neihard, and President Heidi Zorn, also on hand. Andrew Ryback, photographers, handling the pictures here during our awards to the top 3. Finishing in second place here today for Ireland, Shane Sweetnam up on Bertie Ditho, posting a time of 33:13 for the runner-up ranking. No doubt that will play into the standings for the Captive One Open Jumper Rider race. Shane Sweetnam coming into this class at 3rd in those rankings, and we'll have an update to the standings before the start of our American Gold Cup. Shane stepping away as a runner-up in the class, and again, Grace Debney will step into place here, now truly the winner's circle, as she takes that victory with Zarina de Vidal in 31:89. The Temple Equestrian entry topping the lists with the fastest of 10 that went into that jump-off round. Looks like we are ready for that victory pass now. Grace Debney stepping out and leading the way. Again, a very promising young rider who has already had some incredible results through the course of the last several years. So the future looking bright for that rider from Great Britain. Ireland again in a number 2 spot there with Shane Sweetnam. And of course Switzerland and Beat Manley representing our 3rd place honors today in our winning round competition. Again, a thanks to Premier Equestrian for their sponsorship of another great feature here on Sunday morning. Salute again to Premier Equestrian on that sponsorship, and with the winning round event out of the schedule and all wrapped up there, we're going to start preparations for the feature event of the week, the fall series, and in fact the entire year here at our Traverse City shows. It is the prestigious and historic 52nd running of the American Gold Cup coming up here this afternoon. We'll have a 2 o'clock start for that. Course build right now is underway. It's a great time, of course, while we are between classes to purchase your tickets for the raffle that's happening here today. We have the 1975 Triumph Spitfire being raffled off at the end of the American Gold Cup. There's a limited number of tickets being sold, and we'll be drawing that winner once we wrap up the awards here in our feature class later on. So. We have a new leader right now.